anyways.
Hello, everybody! Welcome back to another Spider-Man review. So this time it's just Christian Hopkins.
Jonah Morgan.
Today, you said that quick.
I know.
But today,
So
we're going to be talking about Marvel's Spider-Man 2 on the PS5.
Logan is not here because he just now got his PS5 in today and is currently downloading it as we speak.
Yes. So, normally for stuff that we like, we start with bad, right?
No. There isn't.
Is there?
No. I don't even have to think about it, no.
I don't have anything bad. I will say one thing that does suck that a lot of people are experiencing with this game are the bugs. Yeah, this is a game you gotta talk about it with.
Yeah, it just came out.
It just came out, but at the same time, it still sucks that it is happening.
But they are like, at least they're not sitting it and like letting it happen. They've released a couple,
They're actively trying to fix it.
They released a couple different updates and actually, they just released an update like what, yesterday?
Like a day or two ago. As of recording this.
But we were messing around. It's still a thing.
It's still a thing.
White cube.
White, yeah, that's the big one.
White cube. Like, so, you'll just become just this small white cube fighting stuff.
Yeah.
Which
is funny, but it does still suck.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious.
It does still suck that it is happening. But aside from that, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Here's what I want to talk about first and foremost.
What do we start with, yeah?
This is the best damn acting I've ever seen.
Yes, this is the best voice acting as a whole I've ever seen in a game, and dang near, I won't say the best singular voice acting performance I've ever heard in my entire life. And Mr. Yuri Lowenthal needs rounds of applause, especially in the last mission of the game, which we'll talk about later.
Oh man, dude. Throughout this entire game, like
Bully Lowenthal. We're getting people are now calling him Bully Lowenthal, which the
stuff that he says throughout the game, like in the lizard boss fight, this is why your family left.
Everybody was like, pills and tell me how you really feel. That's the one where it's like, dude, whoa.
This man is going.
This is
nuts.
worse than Bully McGuire.
It is.
Bully McGuire was just kind of like a jerk, dude. Bully Lowenthal is like genuinely like
he was like, go kill yourself. No, it was crazy. All the voice acting performances were nuts.
Tony. I think two of the best voice acting jobs I've ever heard. Yuri Lowenthal and Tony Todd. I love Tony Todd.
No, the two of them were insane.
I wish he was in more, but if he was in more, then he would like steal every show there is to steal. So.
Yeah. Traversal. It's the best traversal system ever in a game.
I mean, there's not many games that can like compare traversal like Spider-Man because you traverse in a way that only Spider-Man can. So it does have a leg up in that sense, but yes, I would agree. It's probably the best traversal I've ever played.
Yeah.
So obviously the number one thing is web wings, but even like if you don't factor in web wings, you still go faster swinging regularly.
They increase the swinging speed, and then you can still upgrade that speed in this game. No, there's no issues I have with the traversal system in this game. And the fact that the map is double the size.
And even, they made fast travel cool.
Yeah, they make it seem seamless.
The original fast travel is freaking hilarious with the loading screens. It's funny, the subway.
Yeah.
And then, you fast travel on like PS5 in the original game, just kind of blank screens and you're there a split second later. This, it like, you can literally, it's not like specific fast travel points anymore. You can pick where you want to go and you hold down a button and then it will zoom in on the map and then that map will become.
Yeah.
Let's do opening mission because I think that's a big part that needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
The opening mission of this game is better than dang near any mission in the other two. Forget opening. Yeah. I think this opening mission is one of the best missions in all of Spider-Man. It's so good.
I agree. Because you're thinking, oh, how are they going to top those other two missions? Because you're starting off with a big Spider-Man villain. They do the same thing here, a literal big Spider-Man villain.
Who is, again, voice acted fantastically.
Yeah. He's not in the game aside from
some side stuff
and this opening mission, but that entire mission with Sandman, the fact that it's like not cutscene into gameplay, it's just you swing towards Manhattan, you swing into the storm, you dodge a bus, swing for it, and you start seeing Sandman. You start seeing Sandman, and then you just transition right into fighting, no cutscene or anything.
I said this, it feels like God of War 3, which is one of my favorite games of all time, and it is still to this day this game is probably second to that game in terms of like just opening missions, because that game you're like climbing up to Mount Olympus with like all these giants next to you and stuff. This feels like that because like you'll be fighting in a building and you can see Sandman outside. It's so cool.
I feel like with the opening mission, I feel like we need to talk about these two characters at the same time because it's about the two of them, because it's them. Because with Peter and Miles, I feel like you gotta talk about the both of them. Like just in terms of like the beginning of the game, because Peter starts off with a job as a teacher.
That he has for legitimately like 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then Miles throughout the entire game is worrying about his college essay. But the fact that at the beginning of the game, you see that like how the two of them are kind of struggling in their own way. Peter, I think a little more so. And I know another thing, since we like see it in the opening mission, we'll talk about these and then we'll go into a little more. The main suits for these two characters.
The best suits for
This is hands down the best Spider-Man suit Peter Parker has ever worn.
No, I think it's. Take out the word Peter Parker and put it in Spider-Man.
Well, that too.
I think this is the best Spider-Man suit ever. In my opinion, I think it's the best Spider-Man suit ever.
Yeah.
It's so okay. The original suit was still so good, but it's just
this suit makes the advanced suit worse.
I would agree. The original suit at the time, it's so good, but the coloring was just that tad bit off. But this fixes it, and then some.
Playing an entire game in this new advanced suit, in the advanced suit 2.0, and then looking back at the advanced suit, which they still have as an unlockable suit,
which I think is cool.
Yeah, but going between the two of them, I'm like, dang, this just makes it like the coloring becomes so much more noticeable.
And the head shape is different, if I'm not mistaken. We're looking at it. We're looking at it
right now. The head shape, like almost everything about it, just looks a lot different.
Miles' suit is also so much better.
Miles, they made the black more like darker.
Yes, in the other one it wasn't quite gray. It was close though.
Yeah.
But
they made it a lot more black, and they put red.
The red down the arm. Oh man.
But since we are also talking about the suits, not including any suits that are like tied to the story, I say we each say our favorite alternative suit. That again is not like a story-based suit. So for Peter, none of the ones in the top row, and none of the two suits that Miles has in his story. So first of all, let's say our favorite alternate suits for Miles.
Okay, our favorite.
That isn't like a story one. So, Jonah, you say yours first.
My favorite suit for Miles, it's the only one, for my first playthrough I mainly just wore story suits.
Same.
But the only one that I even like switched to for even a little bit was the Brooklyn 2099 suit. Really, any of the styles, just a blue one, but then the original pink one the original pink one is also really good. I really like it. I think it fits Miles really well. Bright colors fit Miles pretty well to me.
Yeah. My favorite Miles suit is just like from his game is the 2020 suit.
Yes, that would also be my favorite if we were doing suit styles, because there's a purple one, which purple is my favorite color, and he can tell you whenever I unlocked it and I went to suit styles, I saw that there was a purple one. Do you think you'd be able to find a photo of the purple one?
I can,
dude. Oh man. Also, the 2020 suit I think is just like one of the coolest ideas for a suit I've ever seen.
Now
Peter's tough.
Peter's got a lot of
good stuff.
Granted, they both of them do have a couple of really bad suits, but for the most part, I think they've had some pretty fire suits.
I would say mine is the superior suit because I really like that, and I really like just how the suit looks, and I really enjoy the story behind it.
No, the story it's one of my favorite Spider-Man stories of all time.
And also, if you zoom in on it, it's the webbing on it is not like symmetrical.
No, that's the point.
And because it makes it
look more like strong Edge of Time vibes.
Yes, because it makes it look more like a spiderweb.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite points about that. No, the superior suit was one that I was really hoping would be in this game.
The black eyes. The black eyes were so cool.
I was really happy too. But there was one suit that I wanted more than anything else in the last game. And when I saw it was in this game, I popped off. That would be the TASM 2 suit, baby.
And it originally looked so cool, and then they updated it in the first update for this game and just made it look better because they darkened up the webs.
And they made the material more like shiny and reflective.
Which yeah.
But no, my second playthrough I've pretty much only been in this suit any chance I can get, and it's fantastic. There will be some other suits that we talk about for both these characters when we get later into the story, but we will. Some of them really good, some of them Another big thing about this game's story is how central Harry Osborn plays in this.
Good. Because they could have done where he was like kind of a secondary character. No, who's another main besides like the two. He's
MJ?
one of the main. He's a main character.
MJ?
They're both main characters in this game.
Yeah.
Everybody's there's a central group of 4.
I think the fact that Harry plays so much of a central part in this game.
I love Harry in this game.
He might just be the best version of Harry Osborn that I've seen.
Because there's good versions of Harry. Like I love James Franco.
There's also I've realized that there are so many versions of Harry Osborn that are just classified as a bitch. There's a lot of versions of Harry I don't like. No, I think this is hands down my favorite version of Harry Osborn.
He's acted fantastically.
Yeah.
Because the same guy that's the voice actor is also the face actor.
Mm-hmm. And it just helps looking so good in terms of like graphics wise. Speaking of graphics.
Oh, better than real life. Well, no, I wouldn't say that. But
no, I will say
everything just looks better. Like everything.
Yeah, I will say it's not the best
ray tracing.
Game.
There's the main. I would say that's the main thing that has gotten better. Is I would say the one part that I really realized it was there's a mission where you're going through Dr. Connor's house and there's a piece of glass and I saw the reflections and I'm like, there's ray tracing in this game? I didn't realize it up until that point, and it makes all worlds of difference.
Yeah. Graphics wise, it's not the best game I've ever played in terms of that.
Ghost of Tsushima is still number 1.
Easily. This game is still easily up there. I'm not going to say it's the best looking game I've ever played.
The thing is, with a game like this that is so in depth in terms of world building and like how big the map is, plus how much they have to do with the combat. With how good this game looks, it's impressive that they were able to do that. Like, they had to focus on so much stuff because it's so in depth. It's New York. There's a lot to have to focus on.
Yeah. I'd say, and not just go into story beat by story beat, let's go ahead and talk about the villains just as a whole.
Kraven's so good. Kraven's amazing. I love Kraven. He's so good.
What is it with Insomniac and making the best versions of these
Kraven
characters?
is so good. It has made me more excited for the movie that is coming out for Kraven because he kind of reminds me of this version of Kraven.
Yeah.
In terms of just how he like time to get into what I focus on most in games is music. Because Kraven's theme song is hands down one of the best themes in a game I've ever heard in my entire life. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of if you listen to it, it sounds like the Miles Morales Prowler theme from Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
It's got like, I'm pretty sure it's the same notes, but it does like an eerie like slide. It's so cool. But this version of Kraven, he's so well characterized. He just wants to kill stuff.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because of the fact that he's dying.
He's dying, so
he's wanting a worthy opponent.
Ravis from Jedi Survivor.
Yeah. He's wanting somebody. He wants to die in battle. He wants to find someone who is better than him.
And he does.
And he does. And we'll
talk about that.
But he searches a while to find it. This because what I didn't expect. How many villains does he kill?
Okay.
We see him kill Scorpion.
Shocker, Scorpion, Electro, Vulture. Does he kill Rhino? No.
Not that we see, no.
For Vulture and like Shocker, and then they have like their gear set up.
In the first MJ mission, yeah. But no, I was not expecting Kraven to kill so many villains.
He's menacing. I love him.
No, he's great.
He gets stabbed with Scorpion's tail, and earlier you found a vial of hallucinogens that, like, it was in the 100 base, which literally just means he had made that hallucinogen and been building up an immunity to it, because when Scorpion stabs him, he doesn't react at all.
And you see his like veins reacting?
You see his veins, you see it going through his veins, so which means it worked. But he also, like, because he made a replica version of Scorpion's armor and like was testing stuff on it, because there's like a crossbow pointed directly at it. Mm-hmm. It's so cool.
And I love the act too, because Kraven breaks off the tip of Scorpion's tail and he just goes,
"Is this the best you can do?"
And then kills him, and I was like,
his voice actor sucks.
Ooh!
His voice actor.
He had a good amount of people on his list, and he got most of them. One person he didn't get was Black Cat.
Black Cat. Wong.
Oh yeah.
Which means that
Take the lead on this one.
So yeah, there's a mission you play as Miles in where you learn that Black Cat is going to steal an artifact, a magical artifact. That's all you know at the very beginning. And then you're like, oh, magic, it must be the Sanctum Sanctorum, and you go there and there's like stuff going on inside. And so after you get all the guys that are outside, a portal opens up and I'm like, uh-oh. Are we about to get indoctrination? But no, it's just Black Cat. It comes up. And then you chase her and then she transports you to like Antarctica.
Yeah, you like Black
for a little bit. It's really cool.
No, that mission was cool. Jumping forward in the story quite a bit to where when we transition from Kraven to a certain other villain. So it starts off as Kraven, then it starts transitioning more into Venom with Peter getting the black suit.
Because he dies.
Yeah, that's not at all how I expected him to get the suit.
No, I mean, so I've been watching Jacksepticeye the game. Shout out.
Yeah.
But he was like, nah, he'll come. This is the part where he comes back, and he dies, and Sean goes, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And he goes, this is how we get the symbiote, isn't it? So you've seen him in so many trailers with the black suit and stuff, so you know he doesn't die, but it sure makes you, because he dies.
Yeah.
He straight up dies. And then Harry accidentally transfers the symbiote to him, and then later on it pushes the knife out of his side. It's so cool.
The acting too, because Harry and MJ with their acting, damn!
No, Laura Bailey's like...
We'll talk about her in a minute.
Laura Bailey's really good.
Damn, man!
Laura Bailey's really good.
So, there are two different versions of the black suit. There's a more like clean version, and then there's a more jagged type version.
What's it called?
One's called black suit, other symbiote.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, but both of them, the black suit is just like the black suit, but then the symbiote suit is what happens when the symbiote like regains its memories back from touching that meteorite, and then that's when it starts becoming a lot more aggressive.
And it's also the suit it's also what you transition into when you activate and like this mode.
Like a rage mode.
This mode that Peter can go into, it transitions into that suit.
Yeah, so you see the way it looks when you're in that rage mode, but once you hit like to beat Lizard, like you beat
you're permanently
in it, because like the symbiote touches that meteorite, you get a flashback and you see how Connors loses his arm is because of the symbiote.
Yeah, it has to be shot off.
Yeah, and then it comes back and Peter is in the symbiote suit, and it looks like menacing. I do like the black suit more than the symbiote suit, but they both look fire. I really, 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 like I said earlier, I like how when the logos integrate into the rest of the suit, and the logo is the same on the back and the front of the black suit, but the arms of the logo connect. It's been a big staple for the black suit. It's
the same thing with the symbiote, except I like the logo of the symbiote suit better.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's more jagged.
Yeah, all those look really cool. And since we talked about Lizard, the boss fights in this game are so much better than they've been in the previous games. Thank you for health bars, finally. That was probably a nitpick with the past two games, that there weren't any health bars. I like to know how close I am to beating them.
The way boss fights feel in this game feels very similar to God of War to me, at least.
Yeah.
You can parry, you have abilities.
Yeah, you can parry like block finally, which I really like.
You can parry and block in God of War. There's abilities, there's two sets of abilities, because there's gadgets and there's like the arms, and then for Peter.
The iron arms, or the electric powers for Miles, or the symbiote powers.
Which is exactly what it's like in God of War, because you have two different weapons mostly that have two separate sets of abilities. So it feels very similar to me, at least.
I was thinking in this case, it's like really pays to do any side stuff that becomes available, because when first playing through the story, both of us, we were just going through the story. On my second playthrough, I've done all side stuff as they become available, and I have almost everything fully upgraded, and I'm like, so by the time I got to the Lizard boss fight, my health and damage were pretty much almost maxed out, and every single boss fight after that had been so much quicker and easier because of that. And it's funny because I'm playing on a harder difficulty, yet upgrading everything makes it easier.
Here's the thing.
Which obviously dumb.
The materials that you get that you use to upgrade your health and like damage and stuff. You know what else they get you? Suits.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to do. So as soon as I would get a new suit, as soon as I would level up, I would go to chick with the suits, because I went into this game blind about what all the new suits were,
Yeah.
which are all, which like 90% of them are like fire.
Yeah.
But like they're
but
challenging.
The boss fights as a whole were really freaking
They're so
sick.
much better. Give me a health bar. Thank you.
Yeah. But so a lot of Peter's story around the middle of the game is with the black suit, whereas Miles, his whole thing is tied into Martin Lee.
Which is fantastic.
It's so good. The growth Miles has in this game might have pushed Miles over Spider-Verse Miles for me. It might have
Maybe.
barely pushed him over.
I would say, Jacksepticeye said this too. He said going into this game, he expected Peter and Miles to be together more than they are, but he said he doesn't care. It's done supremely well, and when they are together later, it's really good.
Because everything with Peter, like you get that classic black suit like storyline, and then with Miles, you get that really interesting story with him going after Lee, which is so emotionally investing.
Here's the thing, this game is Web of Shadows HD.
Yes.
This is what this is.
Mhm.
I recently watched one of my favorite YouTubers play Web of Shadows just to like know all the like references are in this game. It's Web of Shadows.
Especially like the end of the game.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I know, like that was my first thought. I'm like, Web of Shadows is one of my favorite video games of all time.
It's Web of
So to
Shadows.
see all of that in there,
Even-
it made my kid so happy.
even down to the
My inner kid, not my actual kid. That came out way wrong. Sorry, continue.
even down to like there's some crimes that you stop that you carry somebody to the hospital.
Oh, also, there's a side mission when you're in an apartment building. You go over to a piano. The music that starts playing is from the very beginning of Web of Shadows.
I didn't notice that. Boom,
I-
boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
Boom. I noticed that
I walked
because
over-
I've seen that meme. I've never played the game. Okay, you probably know the meme where it's Spider-Man walking across like a rooftop and he's like sad and there's explosions and everything. That's
Yes.
Web of Shadows.
Yep, that's Web of Shadows.
And it has a very recognizable piano, like just a single piano playing, and it's great. But yes, when we talk about side missions, it had to be brief because the story is the main part of it. But there's a
Yeah.
side mission where it's like this.
It's with like getting like all the drones and everything. Where you're like in the slipstream stuff. When you finish those side missions, that's where that is. So
It's
if you walk over to piano and you love Web of Shadows,
Boom, boom,
you'll
boom,
recognize it.
MJ missions are really fun.
MJ one, there's only 3 of them, but
And
they're
they're
all amazing.
fun.
The first
I
one is
didn't
when you
hate
get
them
the
in-
black suit.
I didn't hate them in the original.
I didn't. They were definitely like I do admit looking back on the MJ and Miles missions.
Those Miles missions weren't fun.
There were a few too many of those types of missions. Here there are only 3 missions like that.
I'd be
There's a-
okay if there were more,
There's
though.
a
I'm
fourth,
gonna be honest.
there is a 4th mission like that, but it's a side mission. But it's where you play as Haley.
Haley.
MJ, her missions are all good. Character writing, she's fantastic. Like, the first mission is where you get the black suit. The second mission is where you're dealing with all the hunters, and it's where they pull a comics thing, where the symbiote takes Peter's body for a joyride when he's asleep. That's a comic thing through and through.
It tucks him in underneath the covers.
Yeah.
Which is after one of the sickest things in the entire game when he's fighting Lizard and his shoulder is dislocated and the symbiote reaches up and pops his shoulder back into place.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Sick. But you have that, and then like towards the end of that mission, we had a thing that a lot of us were predicting was going to happen, where you're having to run away from Peter as MJ, and I'm like, oh god.
I've seen
no.
some of the animations for like if you get caught.
I haven't seen any of them.
They're crazy.
I'll need to look at them because those are. Whew. And then the third time, in the final boss, where it very much becomes a third-person shooter.
Dude, I was not ready for that. That was you fight a boss fight as MJ, and it's a little bit. Just don't go in expecting, hey, this is a third-person shooter because it's a little bit clunky, but for an MJ mission, it feels alright.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. But there's just so few of those. But everything about MJ in the game, I just think is fantastic. So we talked about one thing we predicted, multiple people predicted, like running away from MJ. There are 2 other things that I had big predictions for that came to fruition, and 2 of them happened back-to-back story-wise.
One of the things I was predicting chronologically was him fighting Lee, because we haven't talked about that.
Well, oh yeah, that boss fight. Okay, we'll jump back. The boss fight with Lee is
Really?
one of the best story missions ever. It's one of the best moments for Miles.
Miles has back-to-back 2 of the best growth moments in gaming.
Yeah.
Where he shows growth. It's in back-to-back missions. The first one is in this Lee mission, where he ultimately decides to help him by zapping a hole. No, it had happened earlier. He accidentally, like, his powers go off and it breaks a window.
And he uses that later to help get Lee out of there.
How does he do it? Just chuck him?
He chucks him. Yeah.
He throws
he
him.
like webs himself back. He like does a kick and kicks him up there.
Which gives way to one of my favorite moments in the game is when as Peter you find Lee at Feast and because Lee's all about honor. He knows what he did was bad. He knows. Because at one point you hear him say, in my quest for revenge, I didn't realize that I had become exactly what I swore I would destroy.
Yeah. And I like how he gains so much respect for Miles because in that mission he finds out like who Miles is. And then,
your name is Miles.
And in turn he also kind of ends up learning that that's where Pete is Spider-Man. Because like going through Miles' head. So in that moment he also figures that out, but he doesn't make as big of a deal about it. After everything he put Miles through, Miles still like grew so much to want to like help him instead of wanting to kill him as like he did at the beginning. And has Lee saying, I owe my life and much more.
I mean, Craven.
And then that's where it transitions into that boss fight.
Craven, which is tough.
It's tough.
He's a little, oh man, he's like Predator. That's what he reminds me of like the Predator from the Predator movies. He can go invisible. He has like all different things that he uses. He has smoke bombs. He has invisibility. He has a sniper.
And
a spear.
in the second stage, there's a freaking bell, which you have to keep
which is really cool.
Yeah, and it's something you have to worry about, like staying away.
Oh yeah, I forgot
in
about
the
the first
boss fight, and then the boss fight after that, you have to worry about, and then it's like the opposite where you have to use it.
I forgot about the first phase of Kraven's boss fight because to me the main Kraven boss fight was that second stage.
Yeah, and then the boss fight after that, where you do fight Peter,
it's really cool.
Is awesome.
Gives way to probably one of the best shots in all of video.
Where there's like the
gaming, where they do the spin. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's also some straight up anime references in this.
My Hero Academia.
That one.
There's My Hero Academia
where he like blasts.
Which is what Bakugo does.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
There's also I think a Dragon Ball reference right before that where he like vaults over the tendril. So
yes, he does like a front flip. Yes.
Yeah. No, that boss fight is sick, and then the moment where Peter pulls the symbiote off of him.
Spider-Man 3.
Is
because he pulls the mask off. Because he pulls the mask off first, then does that. Spider-Man 3.
Yep. It's oh my god, it's so good. And then the third thing that I predicted that I did not think was going to happen, the mission after.
I freaked out.
I did too. I was like hyperventilating when I did this. You play as Venom.
It's so cool.
What?
I did.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
I did the thing where I was watching this cutscene. I'm like, we're gonna die. And then it transitions to like that, that shot when you can tell you're about to be in combat where it's over their shoulder, and I immediately pause and I go,
Yeah. No, I was like,
I
was going like.
That's how I react. That's how I react to things. I don't freak out. I pause it and
I freak out.
I contemplate it.
And then the boss fight ends with you, or the boss fight,
Raven,
where you kill Craven.
You murder Raven. Mm-hmm. There's blood in my Spider-Man game.
My Spider-Man game? What the hell is this?
It's also where I wish that the Venom boss fight was later in Times Square. In Times Square, it's really cool. I
like where it is.
I like that there is. Yes, I still do like where that boss fight is later.
Yeah.
But just that was where we saw the bulk of Venom in the trailers was Times Square.
Yeah, because that first trailer, and you guys can see this in my reaction video to the story trailer, where when he jumps up from that ship and he like does that big roar in Times Square and cars go behind him. I think I straight up said in that video, what if Venom is playable?
Mm.
I think I said it in that video, but
what's right after that boss fight?
It's where the Venom boss fight is where I left off on my second playthrough. It's just where you starting to follow Harry and you see that they're like symbiote henchmen there.
Yeah, Web of Shadows.
Yeah, Web of Shadows, and then so it goes through a lot more of that. There is a Scream boss fight.
That was one where I freaked out.
MJ is turned into Scream.
Because
there was a symbiote you saw earlier and you said Scream and then you went
because yes, it was one of the like the thug guys because he was yellow.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
no, it was hilarious because
what?
You said that and I was thinking nope, but then I'm thinking to myself, he's gonna encounter Scream in the next mission.
Because I've been I love just the symbiotes in general. I love them in the comics and all that. So I've been waiting Scream for a long time, and that boss fight is also really. I wouldn't say it's not one of the. I mean, she killed me a couple times, so it's not one of the tougher ones, but it's.
Because it's all that mission is. It's just that Scream boss fight.
Oh yeah, did we say it's MJ?
Yeah,
I think you said that. Did you say that?
I said it earlier, but it's like it's MJ.
It's MJ,
which is so good. Again, more top tier acting from both of them.
As soon as she like drops down behind as soon as it starts to focus,
Peter's face just goes.
As soon as it's looking at Venom and it starts to. Oh yeah, this is because Peter comes home and Harry is there with. Harry's there with MJ.
Peter's on the phone with MJ. Harry shows
we
up.
are Venom.
We are.
And then the mission after that, where Lee gets that full redemption for himself, and
Gotcha.
then.
Oh yeah, no, hold on. I want to talk about what happens before.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments of the game. I don't know if I have it in me to forgive you, but I can't live.
Yeah, no, this happens a little before that.
Yeah.
He says that, but
I can't live with this hatred inside my heart for you anymore, man. Dude.
It somehow it gave so much more development for Miles, and somehow gave a lot more development for Lee. Lee didn't really have any development in the first game. They gave him so much in this game.
You ready for what his character is in the first game? A terrorist. That's all he is. You never because you're because you can't tell if he's a good guy or not because he makes feasts and he seems like a good guy, but then he's a bad guy because he's Mr. Negative. And then you really see in this game. He didn't know he knew what he was doing, but he regrets what he did. So this game characterizes him miles better than PS4.
Yeah, but no, jumping back to that mission, the suit that Peter gets, because he still had, because of how long he was attached to the symbiote, he still had symbiote particles in him, and Lee was able to save him, and it makes perfect sense. Mr. Negative turns the symbiote negative, right?
It does.
What's the negative version of a symbiote?
Anti-Venom.
Anti-Venom.
It does, and it elicited another pause reaction for me. I pause and I go, whoa.
Yeah.
Because the suit, dude. The suit looks so cool.
Go over to it.
The suit's so good. It looks like a future Foundation suit, but better.
Yeah. It looks
I like
fantastic.
the black on the sides.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Story-wise, they made it work perfectly.
And it was at this moment that I was just thinking, man, they do a lot in this game.
Yeah.
There were so many twists and turns, and dang, they pulled this out, really? I was just surprised they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was a possibility because you get Agent Venom for a little bit. You get
we forgot about that. Agent Venom.
his little suit that he has for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we should get him. What?
What do you do?
I'm fresh out of honey.
Oh man, that's gotta be
It's the best line. It's the best line of the game.
That's the best line.
It's an earlier line in the game where there's this Craven hunter. He's this really big dude who has an axe and he's got a bear. He's got a bear hood, I guess. He goes, "I'm fresh out of honey."
Now, what I wish they would have done, I told you about this, is
Just cuts.
Don't show the dude swinging, cut away, and just have the shot of that upshot and then getting shot out of the window. Because I think I sent you a TikTok where somebody does that.
Tilt that's so funny.
But no, and then the entire rest of this game is web of shadows, symbiote infested city.
Kill.
And it's sick.
Kill it. Do we want to just go to the boss fight?
Yeah, first, let's talk about, I think the thing that everybody seems to have the most problem with in this game, aside from the glitches, because Miles does get a new suit. Miles gets a new suit.
Okay.
I think people need to, it's not the worst thing ever.
No, but it's not
the best
great.
thing ever,
It's
though.
not great.
No.
The color scheme is fire.
Yeah.
The execution is not.
Yes. I agree. I love the idea of the blue on it to symbolize his new blue powers of mastering them. I like it. The hair throws me off a little bit. At first, I really liked it. It's kind of, my opinion on it has gone down recently. The shoes, okay, they should have been black.
Adidas paid a lot of money. They were gonna make them stand out.
Yeah, they should have been black.
I think if you put the hood up, a lot of problems are solved.
Yeah. So pretty much the entire end of the game is just Web of Shadows, like symbiote infused city.
Except you can't throw cars at people, unfortunately. No. That's like the best part of Web of Shadows is you can chuck cars.
You can chuck cars, and it's awesome.
And like kill pedestrians for some reason. But anyways, let's just get to the boss fight.
Yeah. So let's just jump straight to the final boss fight.
This is the coolest Venom has ever been.
Yeah.
Like I love Tom Hardy's version of Venom.
Yeah, I love his version.
Tony Todd puts him to shame. Tony Todd.
Yeah.
Okay. I love scary movies, right? I worship Tony Todd. I love Tony Todd.
The man is
Candyman.
The man is a Candyman.
So that deep voice you hear as Venom, that's barely different than his regular talking voice.
Yeah.
His regular talking voice is very deep. I love Tony Todd. He's also 6'5". You didn't know that?
Really?
Yes.
Goodness me.
So he's basically Venom.
I didn't know he was that tall.
But I love Tom Hardy's version. I think Tom Hardy's great for Eddie Brock. Mm-hmm. This is perfect.
Yeah.
And it's so good. He looks fantastic. The emblem is fantastic. It's all the way that he comes to be is fantastic. He has wings.
He has wings, which
is one of the coolest shots in the entire game. Is when he sprouts them when he's on top of that, and I think he's holding Peter.
No, he's holding like when he's in the final boss fight. But when he is on top of that church, he sprouts him again and starts flying to EMF.
Yes.
And Peter grabs him.
Yes, that's correct.
This mission also has single-handedly the best acting from Yuri Lowenthal he's ever given.
Because he yells at Harry to like please stop because he doesn't want to kill him.
Yeah. Like, multiple moments in this boss fight is the best performance Yuri Lowenthal has ever given in his life. Mm-hmm. And he's been perfect in everything else. He somehow topped himself here.
How do you be better than perfect?
You be Yuri Lowenthal.
You do it.
That's how.
You just are.
Everything about the final boss fight is perfect. Like, Harry...
here we go. The first phase is fantastic. I love it. You're fighting Venom.
Yeah, in Midtown. The second phase kind of killed you.
The second phase, it is not bad. It's just extremely annoying. I like boss fights where you fight the boss one-on-one. That's why I love the Peter boss fight.
Craven had the dogs come in, but it wasn't.
And there's only two of them.
There's only two of them.
Craven is great. Lizard's great. Scream is great. When you fight Wraith in the side mission, it's great. But Venom. For two of the...
It's only one phase where he has, because there are four phases total fighting Venom. 2 is Peter, 2 is Miles.
What does he do? He summons
the green symbiotes,
many symbiotes.
But only the green, green ones and some yellow ones. The green ones are annoying.
The ones that for background, they dodge literally everything you do.
Now apparently, Luke said that the best way to fight those is just literally shoot them.
Right. And then he puts himself into a more beefed up mode where you cannot hurt him unless it is with an anti-venom ability.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when he enters into that mode, he knocks out all your abilities and you have to wait for them to cool down.
Or you have to fight the other symbiotes to recharge those abilities again.
Which is bullcrap. That's the part that makes it annoying. If he didn't knock off your abilities, I think it'd be much better. It's still,
because Lee does that same thing when you fight him, where he knocks away your venom ability.
It doesn't take as, I wouldn't say it's not as annoying because you're still only fighting one dude.
Yeah, it was still him and just dodging his ability,
yeah,
so it wasn't too bad.
It's not bad, it's just a little bit annoying.
Yeah, you were starting to get really pissed off.
Dude, I'm like, dude, that's crap.
Like you had a much easier time with the next 2 Miles phases because you got through those pretty quick.
Yeah, I got through those pretty quick because at that point I had...
You had his moves.
I had his moves downloaded. I have so many bosses' movesets downloaded in my brain. When I play this game again, it's gonna be
the amount of times in this game where you were beneath me. I
play Elden Ring, and there were so many times you can vouch. There were so many times that I would because the bosses mix up their attacks a fair amount.
Yeah.
But I would predict it, and I would either parry it or dodge it. I'm like, because Elden Ring bosses do that too. That just shows that the boss design of this game is really good.
Yeah.
But the next 2 phases you play, so 2 phases you play as Peter, the next 2 phases you play as Miles, because Peter's knocked out.
Yeah.
The next 2 phases you play as Miles, and Venom is flying for the majority of them, and I think it's cool.
Yeah, and then you have the final kind of quick time events and whatnot, and they're so sick. Like there's one, like the moment where Miles is like falling down and Peter
God
goes,
of War.
that too.
God of War 1. Atreus, the
And the
Balder.
dragon. Yeah, no, but like also again acting from Yuri when Miles is like free falling back and Peter
Go,
goes,
Miles.
I'm like,
I also really
the
like
amount of times in the final boss fight where you went Yuri.
Yuri. Chill out. I also really like one, Tony Todd, but two, Harry's voice actor, because like Harry comes out of Venom for a second and he like
It makes Harry likable.
he asks Venom, he like pleads Venom not to hurt Peter,
Yeah.
and then Venom takes over again.
It's like you would think, like, despite how angry Harry was with Peter, like early in the game, like not giving the symbiote, through everything, when in that final boss fight, Harry was still, don't hurt Peter. I was like,
You know,
that alone makes Harry this the best version.
you know that's very different than Finn.
Finn, yeah. We
They say her name like once.
like once or twice. But no, Harry dies for a bit. Miles brings him back.
Two major characters die in this game, and they're both like resurrected.
Yeah, but no. Then the end when Harry's pretty much put in a coma for the rest of it. Even after Norman views it and is like, and he's like angry at
So
Spider-Man.
he's saying, is he saying to use that on Harry or him?
I really hope him. I do not want Harry to be the Green Goblin.
I
do not want that.
No. I think that he might be for a little bit, but it won't like. He'll try the G serum on Harry. It won't work, and then he'll try it on himself.
I hope so.
I think that's. They won't do that.
I hope not.
They won't make Harry the main villain.
Don't do that. But no, that was so they're very much setting up for the third game, and it's like really exciting because like you hear that and you're like G serum, and you immediately think Goblin serum. So and Harry's been wearing green through the entire game, so it's like, I mean not Harry, Norman has been wearing through the entire game. There's an entire thing of MJ wanting Peter wanting MJ to move in with him, and then that ends up happening.
And Peter, for a second, it seems like Peter's gonna retire.
That's what everybody is saying.
He's taking a break.
Just a break. People are saying, oh, he's retiring. No, he's not. He's just taking a bit of a break.
He's in his 20s still.
He's in his 20s. He's still going to take a break. They're not going to make Spider-Man 3 and not have Peter Parker in there. They're not going to do that. Granted, because even then, there's still free roam stuff to do afterwards. So when you switch to Peter, Peter's like, it was like, break time's over. So what he's treating it is just, he's taking a break. It's just giving Miles a little bit more and just Peter doing less. Peter is still Spider-Man. He is still going to be Spider-Man. He's just taking a bit of a break. That's all it is. No, that's how the game ends, is Miles kind of saying, yeah, I got this. You go be Peter Parker for a while. He did not say, go stick to being Peter. He says, go be Peter Parker for a while.
Retire now.
He doesn't say retire. He says, go be Peter Parker for a while. Then the post-credit scenes happen. The first one, Otto comes back and it says the final chapter, which means third game.
And I would assume Otto might be broken out at some point.
Maybe.
Because if Norman is going to Otto for help, that means he's probably willing to do anything.
But then the second post-credit scene sets up Cindy Moon.
Silk, I guess that one.
Yeah. So she'll definitely be a big part of the next game. So probably like 3 Spider people: Peter, Miles, and Silk. Is there anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Like real side stuff. We spent so much time talking about the story.
I mean, that's the game.
Yeah. I mean, with some of the side stuff, it's just like usual, like some bases here and there, like photo ops, stuff like that. There are 4 side stuff I want to talk about. So, Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
One, he's got a story mission where you meet him and then you like all the story or all the Mysterium stuff, and then it's revealed that like it's not Beck doing all this.
I'd say that one was pretty like, yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, you could tell. It's
especially
of the 4 big side missions. It's the one where you could like tell it's not as big of like.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. The whole thing with this game is a lot of Spider-Man's villains are now out of prison and are like reformed. So Quentin Beck is one of them. He has made like an attraction at Coney Island. That's like an entertainment thing. So
and throughout the city.
And so yeah, throughout the city. And when they all start going wrong, everyone assumes, oh, he's back to being Mysterio. But in reality, it's his assistants. And
because they really want to get money.
If you listen to like the logs that you get after completing all of them, they're only worried about money. So it's pretty obvious that it's them.
Yeah. One of the other ones is the Spider Bots.
Oh, hype! I guessed it.
Yeah. because it's all different spider bots from like different spider people, and then it ends with like a very Spider-Verse movie type thing. A character we haven't really seen, but she name drops Miguel, and Peter's like,
She was
Miguel?
supposed to be in Across the Spider-Verse.
She was.
She's the you know the bar with no name.
Yes. But yeah, that makes sense because
She's the bartender.
It looks like where
I forgot her name, but she was supposed.
Delilah.
Yes, she was supposed to be in Across,
Okay, that.
but she was not. I think her scene was cut.
Okay, well that makes sense. One of the, and then another side, like when we talked about the drone thing, it just kind of ties into, hey, here's Chameleon.
It's pretty obvious. You see,
Once you start getting later on in the drones,
who is played by the same guy that plays Craven.
which makes sense because they're like brothers. So.
Which is that done in the comics at all?
I don't. Think
I
so.
I like it. And then the one that I popped off for and predicted, it's pretty easy to predict. I would say is the one with the Wraith storyline.
Yeah, because Yuri comes back.
She's a jerk.
She's in the third mission. She's a bit of a jerk because some of the stuff she says, I'm like, it's so out of pocket, and I'm like, stop it.
It's with the fire cult, and they
with the head of who goes by the Flame.
So you see the Flame, and you see him on this. You see him on this TV screen, and he's wearing a shirt, right? So he's lit up with red lighting. One, he has what seems to be red hair. Two, three, his shirt like looks like a symbiote. Like it has like black like tendril lines on it. Like, and so
you immediately
you're listening to a talk, and I said, just call him Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah,
Carnage.
Which they eventually do at the very end of the 4 missions, because it's made as this big reveal when in the 4th mission he has a symbiote,
and it turns red when he touches it.
Yeah, and he says a bunch of different things. And
it will bring carnage.
Carnage, and that's when you're like, oh. And then after the missions are done, when Yuri's on the phone with Spidey after this, and she says, I'll start looking through his list of aliases, it says, and lists off Cletus Cassidy.
Do you think that could be DLC?
That's my theory. That's a lot of people's theory.
Please do. I feel okay. Insomniac will do Carnage, right? I don't even have a doubt in my mind that they won't do the crap that second Venom movie did.
Oh man, I really don't want to forget anything, but I don't think we have anything
I don't
else.
think there's anything else.
Final rating. Let's do it.
Okay. Ready? 3, 2.
Ours are going to be different.
Are they?
Trust me on this. You say yours first. We'll go ours back to back right away.
11.
Dang it, we are going to be the same.
I told you.
Dang it.
I told you.
Dang it.
I told you. If there's one thing I'd give it 11, it's this. Have we ever done that before?
I have for the first game.
What? Have I given out an 11
Nope.
before? I'm saying it. Don't care. Okay, if you don't like 11, then 10. But no, there's literally nothing wrong with it. It's perfect in every single way.
Yeah, no, because of this game, like, take it to some stuff. The first game in the video, I gave an 11. Bump that up to a 10. Bump this up to
I'm
an
sorry,
11.
as much as I love the first game, this game makes the first game look like child's play.
Yeah.
Jacksepticeye said it the best in one of his first episodes of this. He was literally like, in the second or third episode of his playthrough, he says, this game makes the original look like a demo or like a trial that was like, he said it makes it look like an early product.
Yeah, it really does. Like,
that's literally all I can say about it. We've gone in depth to everything else. It's my main reasoning is just it makes the first game look like child's play, and that has absolutely nothing against the first game. It's everything.
The first game is still fantastic.
It's everything about this game.
But this game took every single thing about the first game and made it better.
Because my thing is
everything.
The first game, the best part of the game was the final mission with Doc Ock and how emotionally charged that moment was. This game has multiple of those. More
engaging boss fights, better suits, better better graphics, better acting, better everything. I just oh my god, I can't. I was thinking to myself before the game came out.
There's no way they can.
I was thinking before I went to go in this game. I'm like, oh, is this game going to be hindered because I hold the first game to such a high standard? They did it. They did it. I can't believe that there are people like Insomniac who are making video games, because this game is fantastic.
There's a lot of stuff you can cut out, but us
us
thinking of stuff, racking our brains.
Yeah, but I believe we talked about like all the big stuff, and if we haven't talked about it, assume it's amazing. Like
Assume it's good.
Assume it's good. But anyway, definitely be sure to let us know what you guys thought of this game down below. And in terms of what the next review is, I don't know. We'll
figure it out.
We'll figure it out when it comes to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Later, webheads.